live stream, and welcome to the Other Sun live stream. Time to get lit. How you feeling, Lota?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very in the pink.
In the pink. I see. I see. Stimulating the pink energy.
Yeah,
Yes,
using that
yes.
base chakra as a little accent, a little
I know
red.
that's right. Got to get your base right. Shout out to Light Body Movement. And yeah. So here we are. A couple of people are rolling in. I'm getting text messages. Are y'all live? Are you live? Where your notification at? If you For the people tuning in, if you have not hit that bell notification, do all of us a favor. Hit that bell notification so you know when we're coming on. Yeah, we had to get a couple of things right in the IT, but we are here and we're gonna have a really good time. We're gonna shine some light today. And so today we're gonna be talking about lexograms. And lexograms are very interesting because this is a modality that has been near and dear to the sun, where we not only have classes, but we have a service. We're also going to have a guest on today who is a facilitator of the class as well as the modality. Her name's Lauren of the Sun. Some of you all may know her as the flower lady because she's all about the flowers, but she also specializes in a variety of different modalities within of the Sun. So we'll get right back to that in a little bit to give you more insight on Lauren, and we're going to bring her on as well. But yeah, so this idea specifically about lexograms, it's a way how you can, I would say, tap into the Akashic information that's contained within a name. What are your thoughts on that, Lota? How's that landing?
It's true. Everything you said is true. It is also a way of reading the frequencies in the letters that identify you through sound when your name is called. So we say Tavaris. In that is Tarvars. In that is the frequency set of who that represents. And so there's magic and there's mystery and there's secrets in there that can be revealed. So this is a divination tool that I've been teaching for several years. And it's a little obscure, but I learned it many, many years ago before the internet, before we could do it easily. And I would get a dictionary and look up every letter of every word. So it's very exciting times and a very interesting modality. We'll give you some, I know Lauren will arrive with some really excellent examples of how this is used. So during this particular class that's coming up in July, not only can you learn how to do it for your friends and relatives, but you can also get your own done professionally. So you come to the class, you learn to do it, then you are able to receive your own. I actually use this in my corporate accounts when I go to do conflict resolution. I often will lexogram the entire company name or the employees or the problematic employees so that we can see the frequency. So it's exciting. I'm excited to
Agreed.
spread this more, make this more commonly known. Many of the things we do at Of the Sun are not mainstream within even the substrate of energy work. Many of the things we're doing are less well known, but no less worthy.
Most certainly, I would most certainly agree. Uh, I would say pioneers, progressive. I think about you back in the day when you talk about the idea of frequency, water, and vibration, healing through frequency. Now everybody and their mom talking about, oh, frequency healing is the new medicine, vibrational medicine. It's like, I've been doing that, but she was doing that before I connected with her over a decade ago. It was actually more than a decade. But here we are. This is another one of those things where uh, the 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 thing that I like about this is that it tells you more about you, right? It
Yeah.
gives even more value to the name. I think pretty much everybody likes hearing about themselves. Readings, right? You said it's a divination tool. And so this is available for those who have that desire. You want to learn a little more about yourself, see the holographic architecture contained within your name. Get yourself a lexogram reading or learn to do this. Yes, Loza.
If you like a human design and you like card pulling and you like numerology and you like astrology, you're going to love this because it's easier and more accurate.
Yes,
You're going to love this.
All right. So I want to give a couple of announcements just regarding what we have going on here. Just a moment. Okay, making sure our live stream chat is up. But also, in terms of announcements, we are wrapping up the month of June, and it's been a very robust month. We're finishing up the light body movement along with several other classes. Lauta brought forth the frequency water class, which was pretty great. We covered the frequencies of courage. First off, purification, because you need to purify before you can multiply. You know what I mean? Before you can step into courage, clean yourself up, right? And then the last frequency was wealth. And these are, again, when I think of them, they feel like very core aspects of people's reality that require strengthening. But again, we're doing this through frequency, vibrational medicine, right? So then we also had energetic protection class. This was taught with me, Tavaris of the Sun. And of course, we're teaching you how to combat spiritual warfare. Be out here, recognize that it's not so much the outside world, it's you that you need to protect yourself from, that darkness or anti-life and interferences attaches to the parts of us that are resonant, that are allowing, permitting, consenting. And so we taught a lot of different cool things, such as how to call your energy back, send things back, how to fortify, own your space, how to keep yourself above negativity, just simply by way of frequency or pulling in light. And also we had Laota's monthly self-healing talk. This was really great, Fire 22. And this kind of kicks us off into the idea of the solar plexus for next month. So we're going to be diving into that with light body. So for those who are wondering, light body movement is every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday of the month. You can join us an hour and a half. Heck, on that fourth Sunday, you get about 2 hours, $45 month subscription. You're with us for several hours in the month, all with a collective group. This is, again, we're building community here where we are strengthening our light bodies in the most practical sense. And again, who are you? If you're a light, come join us. So we could be many suns lighting up. And then also in next month, we have some of our core classes that are cycling back around. Laota's having her sun calibration class again. This is a class to assist you with working with the intelligence of your biology to discern, to make yes and no decisions with your body. Nothing else, just your body. Yeah, there may be some additional tools that you can use that we will recommend and encourage to assist in that relationship. But again, she's pointing you back to you. You all may likely recall me saying, I keep saying this frequently, if the practitioners or the teachers and instructors that you're working with are not pointing you back to you, Houston, we have a problem, because it's all about you, right? So join her it's on the second, third, and fourth Tuesday of the month. So class is kicking off Tuesday, July 8th, 15th, and 22nd. You can join Laota in the sun calibration class. And one of the reasons why the classes are going back or kind of kicking back off is because we have a lot of people who want to take the quantum light property clearing class, which at some point we're going to do another deep dive on that. We have a couple of YouTube videos out about that as well. But this is one of the prerequisites. It's already up on the website, www.ofthesun.com. I said that so fast. I feel like the 45, what am I doing? Also, within the month of July, we have Akashic record reading class. I'm like, hold on, what else we got? Yeah, Akashic record reading class. It's taught with me, Tavaris of the Sun. This is an intensive on the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. We are diving deep into the field of the Akasha. If you haven't checked out our live stream about the Akasha, it's so robust. You are the Akasha, you're connected to the field. It's just about moving yourself into resonance with that field. So we're going to dive into that. And then lastly, we have our lexogram class with Lauren of the Sun on the 10th, 17th, and 24th. We're diving into, as we were saying, because we're about to bring her on in a moment, the Akasha contained within your name. You know, that information, your holographic self, understanding more about who you are, because you know you like hearing about yourself, right? So come join us, come learn about yourself. So before we bring Lauren of the Sun on, Lao, do you have any thoughts, any comments about any of the classes, anything that we have going on that you want to share before we move forward?
We'd love to invite all of you who come to listen to and be in community with us to come a little deeper so that you can have the experience of being in the group setting, because every class has an activation that through the group setting is more powerful than what you can do at home alone. So however much you want to stick your toe in, we're happy to see you live. We're happy to see you on YouTube. We're happy for you to be in the class. But if you would like a greater amount of actualized energy, being in the class is the place to be, because there's always going to be an opportunity for that to take place, even if all you do is be in the virtual room, you will gain from that.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you again, Lalta. So welcome everyone. Just a little heads up. For some reason, Riverside isn't showing me the people in the chat, nor is it reflecting how many people are on. So this is going to be one of those days where, look, you all know it's in Lakesh. I'm not going to say I love you, it's in Lakesh. We appreciate you all for joining us. So just a little heads up, if you're dropping comments, drop the comments, because what we have seen in the past is that you all are engaging and stimulating. We're building community, so have at it. And if we can get that quirk to correct itself, we will do that. But until then, we'll keep acknowledging you. And also, if you have questions regarding lexigramming, email us. Email us at contact@ofthesun.com. If you have any questions and inquiries about this class, there should be some links in the description as well of how to contact us, and even our about page. So yeah, let us know what you think. So again, we're going to bring forth Lauren of the Sun. So just a little preamble. Lauren of the Sun, she's worked with us for several years. She is a quantum light property clear. She also specializes in soul translation. Soul translation is a multifaceted tool that Lalita of the Sun has brought forth to literally translate the soul with, there's over 25 different modalities within this one modality, right? But Lauren, she specializes in the ancestry aspect of it, and identifying some of your ancient ancestry, your mystical ancestry. Do you got some alien in you? Because some of y'all are walking around got some alien in you. We've been hybridized, so she can find all that out. And it's a really cool introspective session. But she's also a florist. That's one of her passions. She loves flowers. She's been doing this as long as I know. The whole time that I've known her, flowers has been her thing, right? So that's one of the things she specializes in. El Andre is her floral company, where she makes bouquets and arrangements for companies professionally. And on the side, she clean and clears. What else does Lauren do?
I'd like to share with you. Let me help you. She operates by being an instructor and a flower communicator for energy classes, and she does that at various groups online and in person, where she'll come and bring in flowers and then teach people how to be in communion and be healed by the flowers. So that's very exciting, and I've been hearing from places far and wide about their sessions with her and how wonderful they are. So people can have her come in and talk to them about the healing qualities and communicating directly with the flowers.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm going to try something here. Okay, it said drum roll. Hold on. I'm coming to the stage. Everybody, Lauren of the Sun.
And Lagash and Veritas, Lauren of the Sun. Welcome, welcome.
Can you feel that joy?
Oh.
Thank you. That's lovely. Such a warm welcome. And I have to note on that real quick, my business name, Melandre, are all letters taken from my name. So here we go with the lexogramming. And that is an opportunity for all of you to learn as well. So thank you for that warm introduction and welcome. It is such a joy and honor to be here in such a great elevated space with you both.
Would you share with us what is a lexigram? So for those who don't know, how would you explain this to children or to someone who didn't know?
Oh, it's such a brilliant modality. It's a divination tool, but if I was specifically sharing that with everyone, it's this opportunity, this gift to be able to go deeper and read between the letters of a person, place, name, or even a business. And you can take those letters and rearrange them and create new words, as you had referenced before, Lo, to anagrams. And then through our gifts and our abilities of intuition, and we do this through the consciousness of soul translation technology, as Tavaris shared. We are able to rearrange those anagrams, those words, and create very poignant truths that tell the story that is within our blueprint. So, what we and our soul agreed upon as we agreed upon our names and entered into this world, we have those frequencies and those trajectories. So, it not only shows us future trajectories, but it also helps inspire us to go deeper and look at what has been carried over within the lineage or past generations, things that we might need to be mindful of or pay attention to in order to shift and change for the evolution and growth of ourselves and future generations.
So all of this is done through the letters of the alphabet, the 27 letters of the alphabet, and our connection through our DNA to what that means in the language that we speak. And it predicts past, present, and future past events, current events, and possibly even future events.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then there comes another layer or level when we go deeper is what happens when we change our names. What happens if we change them by choice, by marriage? Because when that happens, as with all things, there's constant change. It shifts and changes potential trajectories or our future destiny. So that's very interesting, and we do have some beautiful examples to highlight that through very well-known individuals, businesses, but it is something that we can actually see in ourselves as well.
This is wonderful. I think that everything we talk about it all the time, that everything is frequency. And when your name is called, that is a frequency associated with your beingness. And there is some level of resonant energy between them. So I think this is very exciting. And just so that everyone knows, we're really talking about the letters of the alphabet being that are in your birth name or in your chosen new name. And these are things that we, now that there's internet, we can look up how to do this on the internet. It's much simpler than when I was doing it 30 years ago, when there was no internet. That you can easily look up the letters, and then you can go into meditation and you can divine the lexogram, which is the meaning of the many words that you come up with that have significance in your current now moment. So would you share with us some examples that you're prepared to share?
Oh, absolutely. And I believe, Tavares, if we do have some documents that we can share so you all can enjoy and read at your own pace as we discuss them. So we'll share that with you all. But there are a few I wanted to share of, before we get into that, of experiences that I've had working with specific clients so that we can see that this is very, very much relevant to all of us. And so one's actually, Lotte, is a story you shared with me. We had a client, we did her lexogram report, and it came forward, and there was a lexogram that shared that she would be by chance in a casino, and it shared that.
Oh,
And when you were sharing this story with me, you chuckled, and she said when she received that information, she said, "Loda, I don't know. I don't go to casinos. That's I'm not sure about that." And and she said, "Well, it's in your name. It's a truth." And you shared that you received a call a few days later, and from this client, and she shared with you, "You are never gonna believe where I am." She was in a casino because work took her there. to do this. And so she was like, I believe, I believe, I believe.
The
It's
prophecy
very,
shall be fulfilled.
yes, it's very interesting. Not only, I gave her the lexigram 2 or 3 days before, and she vehemently said, I don't go to casinos, I don't gamble, that's not what I do. I said, well, I see money coming from a casino. And she said, it's right there, it's right in the letters in your name. And I said, I didn't think it up, the letters said it. And she got off the phone, and then she called, she said, you won't believe this, I just won a large amount of money at the casino. And then she went and told everybody. She said it, but it wasn't me. The letters in the word that is her name said it. So it's very interesting. So we've done this. I do this often with clients, especially with businesses, to see where the business is going, like what the name of the business is. Is this a good name? Does the name represent positive future trajectories, or does the name not represent that? And so it's highly recommended. And Lauren is our specialist, but not only a specialist in that, she also is communicating with our new animal communicator. So Lauren, how long has it been that you've been with us taking classes and being a student?
About 10 years now.
All right, so over the last 10 years, Lauren has learned many modalities and now has become a practitioner. And this is really important for those of you who are interested in Of the Sun. We want to give you what we have. We have a lot, and we want to give it to you. So we're not attempting to be like modern medicine where you just keep coming back to us for the rest of your life. You become the things that you're interested in, and then you then can take that further and further assist the world and serve humanity. So we thank Laura and honor you. Salute you for doing so.
Thank you, Lota. Thank you, Lota. And to comment on that, we are all expanded from what we are inspired to go deeper within. And that is what brings us into this space and place to be, as you shared with me, those healers to share that with the rest of the world. And that's what these modalities have done through that inspiration and that enthusiasm to want to go deeper and learn more about who am I? Why am I here? And I've heard you share so many times, we find ourselves here for a very specific reason, and it's to be a part of this information to share that forward. So thank you for that.
So you have some celebrity names.
Yes,
You
yes.
hit Lexigram, okay.
Ooh,
So
we got
may
some.
we begin with that?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring that screen share up. And just a little heads up, I managed to get back into the chat. I'm using other devices to do it. So again, I see you all in Lakesh and Veritas. If I may give a
Oh,
quick
good.
to the folks. We got Stacy Randall, Bio Pello, South Africa in the house. I know where you at, Bio Pello. Mario, maybe you're driving to work, maybe you're not. Elijah Woods. Uh, who else was in there? Julianne, I just commented to you. I know you were asking, does this have to do with numbers and names? It's just the names. And so I'll answer you all in the chat as much as I can. And yeah, so thank you all for joining. So we'll go ahead and get that screen share up for you, Lauren.
Okay, so lexigramming is just the alphabet. However, this is the alphabet, which you may not know right now, but the letters that are used in the alphabet are sentient, they're living, they're connected to the language of the people who use the words all the time, and that's connected to the DNA. And so how we are called is relevant. It is very important that we not be called out of our name, that we be called our name or that we change our name. So, and we have Lauren's flyer up for her
Yeah.
class.
I just want to say I'm looking at it. This is for Lauren. I'm looking at it through the YouTube and how it displays, and it's looking real clean, Lauren. So just so you know, we got
Okay.
you.
It's looking good here too.
Would you read this, Lauren?
Yes, yes. Okay, so our first example that we wanted to share with you, this is Diana Frances Spencer. So we all know her as Princess Diana. This is her birth name, and so we wanted to show that through birth and her acceptance, her soul acceptance of this name to enter into this world, through the rearranging and the consciousness of lexigram, these are the poignant truths, these lexograms that were created from her name by rearranging the different letters. Again, only the letters. So we see here, Diana is a princess. She has a imprint, a trajectory of frequency of princess in her name through birth. A prince serenades Diana. Diana is seen and rides in car parades. Diana raises and finds finances in care and aid. And this is in reference to many of the different charities and events that she worked with to create and help fund. Fear and crisis and Diana. And then this last one, Diana is scared as Diana dies in a car in Paris, France. So we can see here the truth that has literally come forward from this consciousness of the lexogram. All of these were trajectories that were accepted and understood, and we can now see were fact within her lifetime here on Earth.
So I'd like to point out that this was her birth name, and so her death was described in her birth name.
Yes.
Her crisis in her marriage, her dedication to charity, the fact that the prince would come in. This is true of all of us in different ways. I have done her name as Princess Di also, and there are some slight changes as her official name changed from her birth name once she became a princess, and so some of her trajectories changed as well. But I think this is an excellent example for those of you who are familiar with this a notable character in our experience.
Yes.
Are there any questions or thoughts in the chat?
Yes, there's a couple of different things. They are slightly, I mean, they're still on topic, but not necessarily related to Diana, which I think is fascinating in and of itself because it's so wow. It's all in her name.
Yes.
I was over here pulling out my Lexigram. I'm like, is casino in my name? Because let me get some of that. However, there are some awesome things in mine as well. And so it is refreshing because pulling it up this morning, I'm like, oh, snap. That's right. But
Would you share with us some of those wonderful things? I
yes,
didn't pull mine up today, so.
we'll do in a moment. However, while I'm doing that, this I think this will be a perfect segue. Lauren, the people in the comments are saying that your volume appears to be dramatically lower than Lalitza's and mine's. Just a little recommendation, maybe in your sound settings, the output of audio has to be turned up a little bit. You mind checking into that while I take a look and segue into my personal lexigram?
Yes, thank you.
All right, sweet, sweet. So let's see. This won't be screen share, but I'll just read this aloud. I'll read some of the words and then I'll read some of the synthesis, the lexograms, the anagrams and then the lexograms. So first one is narrator. We live in it, right? We're doing that right now. Look, out the gate. Out the gate.
Is this your birth name? This is your birth name?
Tavaris Marlon Hankerson. For those who don't know,
Okay.
AKA Tavaris of the Sun, energetic hygienist, the radiant one. But that's not what we're doing. We're doing Tavaris Marlon Hankerson, my government name. It's what my mama named me, my grandma. Skater. I was a skateboarder for years. I started in 5th grade. I was excellent. I'm talking like I could jump over a staircase of 11 set of stairs. I was really good. They called me the Moon Man back in the day. Resonant, Avatar, Another, Ethos, Thanker, Shark, Stark, Throne, Earth, Heart, Savers, Arson. I like arson. Burn it up. I'm a heretic. Got to burn this old world down. Build something new. Harvest, which put a little pin in that. Star. I'm working on it. So I'm going to read some of the lexigram examples. Tavares hovers over tasks as a narrator at a store. He harvests more on earth than other men. Tavares savors an honest other rather than resort to hate at another heart on earth. He starves hate as he thanks the stars rather than trash others on a rant. I know that's right. I don't have time to talk smack. A man others think as a saver. He ranks as a rare star. He soars over earth as a rare man to atone others. That one, I'm feeling that one. This is the last one. Tavaris resonates as another as he arose over the tears to shake man's throne on earth. Didn't I say we're gonna burn this thing down? Shake this thing up. All right. I'm a little turned up, but it feels good to reread my lexogram.
I'd like to comment that when the lexogram is, we identify the words through the anagram, then through meditation and practices, you can identify what the sentences should be. However, the use of language is slightly different. So we don't hold to, prepositions and adjectives and verbs for, every sentence, but we can see that if you look through the spiritual eye, that every word he said was right. And in the very first sentence, Tavaris worked I had 3 stores in Fort Myers, Florida, had an office and 2 stores, and Tavaris was the manager of those operations. What does that first one read again, Tavaris?
It reads, Tavaris hovers over task as a narrator at a store. I was doing that. I was hovering. What you doing? You finished producing those frequency waters? Making those salts? I was hovering.
So that was in Tavaris's name when he was born. So some of these, that is now his past, present, and possibly his past, present, future. And all of the other things. So I'm really wanting you all to kind of, from what you know and what you've seen to what we share with you, what you can understand, to see what is available to you in learning about lexograms or having the service of lexograms done. It's quite astounding. I didn't bring mine today, but maybe we'll do mine at another time. But Lauren, you have others?
I do have others, and I just want to check, is the volume louder, better for everyone?
Somebody let us know in the chat how Lauren's coming in, if it's coming in stronger. And but we'll keep it moving. We can still hear you on this end. I just know there is a difference audibly, but let's keep it rolling. So I can bring the screen share back up if you like.
Yes, and while you're doing that, I just wanted to add on to your experience in your lexogram. This is something that you'll be able to step deeper into by taking the class, is that this is different than just gathering anagrams and putting them together. This is brought forward through the consciousness of soul translation technology, which is of the sun. And so you will open up your abilities to step into deeper intuition and be able to get the truth, not just the understanding, but the truth and the story, which is what's so brilliantly revealed as we heard Tavaris share his. And that is a big difference. So this is something that will be covered in the class as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just a little heads up. We're getting varying responses. Some people say, yes, we can hear you. It's just low. Some people are like, it sounds great. It's the same. As long as they can hear,
Okay.
just activate your throat chakra.
Yes.
Enhance your listening. We'll make it through.
Yes,
you have
sir.
the floor, Lauren.
All right, thank you. So we're going to move on to the next example just underneath Diana. So, all right, here we go. We got Donald John Trump. So, very interesting. This is his birth name. And we're going to read these. Donald, not a normal moral human. Donald jumped to land on top to outdo man. Donald planned to uproot our land. A non-mortal man to plot a major tour of harm. An ultra-proud and loud-mouth mullah man.
This is funny.
Mullah.
Mullah, mullah, mullah.
You know he's about billions and billions. Right.
No honor or oath pardon Donald. Donald trap and turn on human. So again, brought forward through the intuitive process of soul translation technology, this is the truth, all written within the birth name of Donald John Trump. So we can,
Lauren,
yes.
this is not his birth name. That Trump is a name that he changed his name to.
Oh,
This is
okay.
his changed name. This is the frequency that he's currently operating in. His birth name was not Trump. He changed his name to Trump.
Okay.
So just so you know, it's not a birth name, but it doesn't matter. It's the frequency in which he's operating in. And it doesn't, this is not for you, for people to necessarily agree or disagree depending on your position and what you believe to be true.
Mm-hmm.
This is just what the letters say
Yes,
about him.
exactly. So it's all relevant here, and thank you for that clarity, because that's something also I wanted to touch upon is the relevance of our name that at this time. So even if our birth name is one thing, maybe we have a nickname, maybe we go by our middle names and we don't use our first names. That's all relevant to our
Right.
experience currently right now. So that makes a difference when we're doing the lexogram. So that's something to keep in
I'd
mind.
like to point out something else that since I'm aware, and this is not may not be statistically accurate, but I'm aware since 2021 that there has not been a day on this planet in which he has not been fully forced into our view. Like every news show, every entry on internet, every social media, that every day, and even before that, he was on the evening news every night. So this is clearly something that is synthetic. This has not happened in history before, and it is clearly being, we are clearly being forced. It's like have your eyes wired open to have to see it. And it is the frequency of the lexigram that we are looking at.
I have some thoughts on this. This actually kind of coincides with my question, but before I dive into that, I so co-sign on that, Lota. There was no other president who has been spoken more about after their the course of their 4 years of presidency than Trump. So artificial indeed. So with that being said, the fact that he changed his name, right? I have this question that is tangential to it, but more so in a positive trajectory, because we know that those people who are words are power, and I don't want to refer to them as giving them power, but those who currently oversee the artificial structures of our world, right? There we go. They're strategic. They understand things like this. They understand the concept of the power of words. They do
Yes,
events that are lined up with
yes, they
celestial events.
definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, you just co-signed it. Yeah. So yes, right. And so I'm saying, okay, what does this mean for those who are on their spiritual evolution? So my question was, how does Lexogram assist with identity recalibration or shifting energetic trajectories? So, because I can see where, in this case with Trump, changing the name changes or influences the trajectory and of the soul. And so, what does that mean for any person who's deciding to change their name and do things like that?
It's so interesting that we have this as we have another example coming up that's somewhat different, but this is an advanced student question. You must be a practitioner or something.
My bad.
this, this is that advanced thinking.
All
So
right. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
in this situation, Trump is from a European family that's connected to the anti-life ancient families who ruled the planet, and they didn't want that name to be able to be traced back. So it was not, it's not like you can't find it, but it's not ever in the press. You can find it, but so you can find his father's name and you can find other things. But, and then he married Eastern Bloc woman from, that part of the world. He is an implant from the royal families of Europe who really run the world, are part of the anti-life collaboration with the Vatican and the Rothschilds and, you know, the ancient European families. So that was being obscured, but it didn't change the frequency of, what does it say about pull the earth apart or pull humanity apart? It's the idea of that is the goal was to deconstruct the world. And even if you take away the birth name of the one who's going to deconstruct the world and you give it a name like Trump, which sounds like a card game everybody plays, it sounds like he's going to win in every situation, he's going to be the boss. All of this is mathematical and tactical. His name is tactical.
Yeah.
And so what we see so it doesn't happen that way in every situation, but the name change does change the trajectory somewhat. It may not mean in a case like this, it still did not obscure the truth of who he was, but you had to look harder. You might have to do a lexogram to find out who he is, which is, you know, what I do with people. I want to know who they are. I lexogram their names. It's free, it's available, you don't need the permission, the letters are right there, it's in front of us. We have the right to look at it. So he puts in front of us what he wants to see, and he wants us to see that he can trump any deal, he can win any situation. So when we change our names, and we're going to go into another one like that, it does not completely obscure the soul's direction and what they're coming here to do, or what will manifest as a reality for them. However, it might obscure or redirect, like in this case, everybody who says the word and the whole world is repeating the word Trump. Everybody who says it gives him power to Trump situations until, as what's happening now, he's running the end of he's at the end of his cycle. So we will begin to see that people will turn against him in the coming time, because that cycle has run, everything runs in cycle, nothing stays forever. So I'm not sure if I answered your question.
It's all good. I think that whatever you're saying is giving us robust content. I'm with it. I would like to, if we may, jump to a couple of questions that we have. People are asking things here. Biopello asked earlier, wow, first off, wow, this is so interesting. Does the lexogram translate across languages?
No, it doesn't always. It works very well with English, and sometimes with, I've done it with some names and some things it does work across, but in general, no, it doesn't translate into all languages. And that might be that I'm not familiar with all the languages, but when I've tried to do it, it doesn't seem to have the same power as it does with this particular language. With English, it might work with German, which is a cousin of English. It might work with Latin, which is a founder of English. But as far as I can see, we were looking to the lexograms. Many countries have, for instance, we were trying to do one this morning, and many of the letters were duplicates, which didn't give us enough to make words. Like a word like Mohammed has so many duplicates in it, it doesn't give us enough letters to make English words. So it really just depends. That's happened to me before. When I went recently to a company, one of the people who was in the meeting had a Middle Eastern name, and there just wasn't enough letters to make words. All of the letters kept repeating. Like there were 3 Ds and 4 Fs and 2 D, and I just couldn't get enough vowels and consonants for it to work. But that doesn't happen in every language.
I think this is fascinating because it seems very exclusive, and we know that this in and of itself is a very magical language. It was intentionally constructed, so I think there's probably something to that in terms of exclusivity.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we were predestined to be misdirected into the lie. And this is a way for us to discern the truth in the middle of living in the lie. So.
Yeah, interesting. We got, I'll read a comment and then we're going to go back to Lauren and then we'll jump back into the chat. We see you out here, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. We're talking about lexograms, if you're wondering. And this is Lauren of a Son, who we have as a guest. She's both an instructor and a facilitator of the service for creating lexograms, which, again, you see that example of Donald Trump? I know you all see that in the comments. People are like, ew, oh my gosh, so accurate. Greed, Donald slump. You know, they over here feeling it. By the way, I have a dancing lady who usually is queuing up for us to, we have 15 minutes. I'm just saying. So I'm going to read this comment here. This is from Mommy Mika Music. She says, I received this service as a gift, and it was illuminating, fascinating, and confirming. One of mine said, when Tamika is a mother, she names her one girl Samora. And Samora, I know Mommy Mika Music. She has a daughter named Samora, and it was already in her name, which is wild.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
When she was born, that was already there. That's a see your way out of the darkness. Don't let the lie devour you. Use this modality. This is magical.
So do we want to go back into the lexograms, or actually what I could do, I can play our commercial really quick, go to our quick commercial break, and then maybe talk about one or two more of these, talk a little bit more about the class and its upcoming, and answer some more questions, and we can bounce out of here.
Thank you.
All righty, you're welcome. So everybody hold tight. Thank you again for joining us on the live stream. We can feel the love. We can, well, let me get out of here. We can feel the oneness. Stop out of here. We talk about, I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to say what I said. And stick with us for about 50 seconds. We're going to play a commercial from our sponsor, Aluka Gold.
If you're a conscious investor looking to make a difference, you need to hear about Aluka Gold. Because doing good and doing well isn't just a dream, it's our promise. Let's face it, everyone wants their money to work harder. But what if your gold investment could do double duty? Aluka Gold is more than just precious metal. We're committed to ethical sourcing and total transparency, so you know exactly where your gold comes from, and who it helps. Every ounce you invest helps support real miners and their communities with humanitarian projects and fair wages. That's not just good business, it's good for the world. You get solid, physical gold, plus the pride of knowing your investment brings hope and opportunity to families who need it most. So why settle for ordinary returns when you can spark extraordinary change? Invest with purpose. Invest with Aluka Gold. Do good, do well, and let your gold investment shine brighter than ever.
We send honor, respect, and gratitude to Alex Chinaborg in Dubai, founder of Aluka Gold. His company specializes in wealth asset protections. Do you have assets that require protection? We just had energetic protection, but sometimes you need somebody who knows what they're doing with the wealth. So visit aluka.com for, again, protection with wealth and investments and assets. So thank you again to Alex. Send me a couple of gold bricks, my brother. I know casino ain't in my name, but I know somebody. I know somebody who knows somebody. All right, so where would you all like to pick up with the remainder of our lexogram session?
I think Lauren has some more examples that are really interesting. If we have time, I'd like to move through them.
Okay, bringing our screen share back up.
And if Lauren will read that.
Yes. Okay. So here we have Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. And so this is his birth name. And we all know Cassius Clay as Muhammad Ali, the greatest, right? So this is very interesting because we're going to see here that these lexograms were in his name at birth. So the very first one I thought very fascinating. Cassius assumes an alias as M. Ali. So this is understood that it was already known that he would be changing his name. Arm muscles are Ali's classic success claim. Oh, we know he was a boxer. He used those muscles. He stretched it. That was known. Miracles are real as Cassius easily rules class. This is in reference to his weight class. U.S. racism rallies arise as a real cure. And he was very, very well known for contributing to rallies to end racism. Ali Shirley slays as a army rascal. And it was well known he refused to participate in the Vietnam War. Cassius usually clears messy calls, and Ali rules as a crucial racial rally ally. Very interesting that these were recognized, even though he changed his name, they were known. This was known, and he accepted this as part of his trajectory in this lifetime. And we can move on to the next one.
Well, before we go on, I'd like to make some comments about that. The fact that when he was born, it was known that his name would change and that he would not serve in the army, and that the word racial comes up in the letters of his name, as well as the fact that he had muscles, that was a critical part. He used to say something about sting like a bee,
Fly like a
float
butterfly,
like a
sting like a bee.
So this
Yeah.
really answers the person who was in the chat who was saying, well, how does this affect when you change your name? Like, here is a celebrity also like Princess Di. We looked at her birth name and we could see her trajectories, which they did change when you would lexogram under Princess Di instead of her maiden name. And with Muhammad Ali, we weren't able to get enough words because of the letters repeating so much that we didn't have a variety enough letters to create more words. But the story's all here. The muscles, the name change, the rallying people behind him, the fact that he won, the magic that was involved. I think that this is a very excellent example for those of you who are interested in lexograms to see that whatever name you use, you will still only be resonant to, it may be a higher frequency, but the birth is still the birth name. And some of those things, when you hear people say, is something has been written, this is what is meant. They say it has already been written, it cannot be changed. The name has already been written, it was given at birth. That frequency is identified as that person, that frequency set exists. And if you change the name, it could take you to a higher trajectory. So I think this is a good answer to the person in chat. Thank you.
Most certainly, most certainly.
It's also, if I may share, it's bringing me also to this memory of another client that we did a lexogram for, and she had gotten married but divorced and still had her same last name or married last name. But when I asked her, what last name do you want me to lexogram, she said, no, I identify it with my maiden name. So when we did the lexogram report, it was very clear that certain words had been removed when she got married and assumed the married name that actually took her away from birth trajectories and her destiny. And so that was very evident. And when we did this, there was expansion and enlightenment, words such as healer, leader, clearer, cleaner. And she had been in, I remember she had been in resistance. She wanted to take property clearing class, but she goes, I'm not ready. She did the lexogram report and she goes, oh, I understand. And she adopted the truth and recognized by moving back into the frequency of her birthright, she then allowed the universe to inform her to take back on those roles as cleaner, clearer, leader, healer. And I just found out this past weekend she's in the physical process of changing her name back legally to her maiden name. So there is so many wonderful opportunities through this consciousness and this modality to help inform us and for us to go deeper and read between those letters, read between the lines, and understand part of our purpose, our mission, and be inspired to get the direction we need to move forward.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Lauren. Do we have another?
Yes, we have a few more if time permits.
As I'm scrolling through, I just want to share that example spoke to my question earlier about shifting energetic trajectories. That's a literal perfect example
Yes.
of that idea.
Yes, and it's all information. And we look at the word information, information, like information that's coming forward to help us see more of who we are.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a wonderful one. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we know his story. This is wonderful, but what I wanted to highlight on this is his name, Martin Luther King Jr., is one aspect of the lexogram, but he was recognized as doctor. And so by adding DR, so those letters in front of his name, it did shift his trajectory and his future. Certain words, and we'll go through those, appear that have the letter D in it that was not apparent within the birth name. Martin had a dream. A great
Ah,
right there, first one. A great talker in a daring magnitude uniting man. Martin had time in jail. A real leader in the human right and human nature. MLK urged in healing the hate in the human heart. He imagined the ultimate human alignment. In the end, Martin died. Murder in a mad, inhumane hate rage. So by adopting or incorporating doctor, we can see specific trajectories that changed the fate from within the birth experience. Specifically the word murder, dream, all those frequencies that were very clear and really played out in real time, real life experiences within his lifetime.
very interesting again, though, that when he was born, it was already understood. His entry point showed us his exit point, which is the truth of the world. We all exit this experience, and it is the moment that we enter is an entry point, and the exit point is determined from the entry point. So it's through and through all the frequencies, including the letters in the name. So that was a really good example.
Yes, and then I think there's a few more we have. This one's short but very pertinent. Same idea, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So by assuming the title of president, same idea, it changed his future. So certain letters, John takes shot in head on a Friday in a parade to his death. President dies in deep sin tied to his pride and desire. So this is very relevant based upon the addition of his title.
Thank you.
Here we can also do not only people, but there's opportunity to look at places. It could be our countries, it could be cities, it could be our towns. But we're looking at it here as the United States because this is something I'd like to also note, the most relevant frequency. We say United States. We say that a lot. Some people say America, but United States is very relevant because it's what's used often. And so that, with just these letters, is what we made the lexogram from. Unsteadiest in a tense, sad state. A titan in an attitude to stand united. A destitute anti-issue ensues as it denies its states. Tends to aid and unite distant needs. And so this is a lexogram of these frequencies and these truths that we can all feel and relate to from our experiences with association to the United States.
Would you read through each one again? I'd like to comment on each of those sentences.
Yes.
Yeah, they're landing,
Oh, yes.
especially that last one.
And feel that frequency. Unsteadiest in a tense, sad state.
So this could be current, it could be past, and it could be future. There really has never been a time where we have not been not at war or not in crisis. It just seems to people that that's the case, that there was some good old day, but mostly the good old days are when our parents or grandparents were in the army and being killed, or we were involved with someone else. Would you read the next one?
May I make a quick comment?
Yes.
I want to share this with the people who are on the line who are, maybe you're considering taking the class and doing it, and maybe you got even more questions. And there's a couple of questions, but we're not going to be able to get to everyone. So again, send them to, if you really want to know, send them to contact out of the sun. Lauren, may they send questions to you as well as it relates to the Lexigramming Class?
Absolutely.
Lauren at of the sun, that's LAUREN at ofthesun.com. And so what was coming to my mind was when you mentioned the time, the relevance of time. Is this past? Is this present? You know, where are we in terms of this information? I was thinking to myself, like, these are things that usually you're taught in the classroom setting, because it's one thing to pull it up. It's another thing to, how do you intuit this information? You know, and I'm just saying there's nuance to it that, again, you can get that in the class. So we can continue if you like.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the next one. A titan in an attitude to stand united.
Yeah, so we are the big man on the block, the power on the globe, a titan that's beyond a god.
Titan with an attitude.
Yes.
Titans with attitude.
Yes.
You see what I did there?
I'm an American. Yeah.
So we have a destitute anti-issue ensues as it denies its states.
A destitute. So that would mean something that is lacking. Attitude ensues as the states are denied. That feels like a now moment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very relevant. And tends to aid and unite distant needs.
I think Tavaris said he wanted to answer this last one.
Yes. This country, or the government that runs the country, takes care of everyone else but home. I think that's very clear to everyone on this line for the most part. If we saw what happened with the billions and billions sent to Ukraine, that wasn't even during his term, but you know, here we at Of the Sun, we understand this left wing, right wing, same bird. None of them are for us, and don't believe what they say, believe what they do, and their actions show that they send foreign aid but ignore the issues, both socially as well as the structural landscape of our land. Like I was driving the other day, I'm like, where are the tax dollars going regarding these roads in Atlanta? Because geez, you know, but this is so real. It's embedded and it's tripped out at the same time. But I'm loving every moment of it because it shows me, like, if you want to know about someone or something, this is again another powerful way that you can see the truth of a thing. No matter what they say, no matter what they're telling you, the truth is in the name.
Yes.
You know, the Of the Sun is all about the truth. We call for the truth and the truth comes forward. We calibrate for the truth and we can tell you whether something's right or wrong. We can lexogram you into the truth. You know, we will not be lied to. We are calling for the truth. We have many ways to discern what is. There are no secrets. There are no secrets. There are only opportunities to go deeper and learn more if you have the willingness to do so.
All right, so we got one
So we
last
thank
one here. Did y'all want to do this or no?
Yes, if the dancing lady permits.
Dancing lady, can we get 30 seconds to hash this out? All right.
Okay.
You've spoken.
It is very relevant because it goes to show you we have the United States, but now what is something that is viewed as a part of the United States is the White House. And so we see this, and we have president, we have United States, we have White House here, but it shows us the business and the institution. So not only can you lexogram the name of a person or a place, but now here we have a business. And by looking at this, do you want to know more about your employer, where you work, all of those different aspects? Go deeper. Go deeper and read between those letters and understand what frequencies are playing. The house to outwit the wise. I like this one. He who sit west, hush those who see.
That's deep.
Deep. This house is set to twist the wishes of the U.S. We house those who wish to heist. Now
It
this
is
one,
truly the wish to heist that we should be aware of, those who wish to
Thieves
heist.
trying to take it all.
and vagrants. Don't get me started. Let me chill out because
It's getting
what's been in my reality got me heated up.
the fire.
Please continue.
This one in particular pertains to Donald Trump. The tweets, oh, this house show his tout wit. And we all know that.
Would you repeat that? Would you repeat that?
Yes. The tweets, oh, this house show his tout wit.
What does that mean?
So his platform that he likes to become very vocal on, to he's showing us the truth of who he is
Yes.
on social media, and is on Twitter, and his tweets have riled up many
Yes.
individuals, and that is very intentional and designed to do so, and it is all written within the specific trajectory of the White House. At this time, in this place, in this moment we share together with this presidency, this is relevant.
Yes. And what is also very magical about the lexogram is that if we were to look at this 20 years from now, the words would present for what was relevant then. So I'm just saying there's what will present, because this is a magical, intuitive divination device or method.
That's the
So
part that
it's-
I'm talking about, Lota, where it's more than just I'm grabbing words and choosing, because
Yes.
it's possible to do that. But the accuracy of what you're looking to identify and when, and to see the real trajectories, that's some spiritual stuff that it is rather challenging, or I would say artificial technology would be unreliable, if you understand where I'm heading at with that. Even though
Yeah, artificial technology would not be able to do the lexigram part, only the anagram part.
Correct, yeah. Which
It's quite true. You become magical in the process of learning this, because you have to be in an altered state where you can get information that's relevant to your current moment. This is relevant, everything that was said here. And this is not about belief. There's enough factual data here that you don't have to believe a thing. You can know that that's who that is. That's what's happening here. That's the reality. You don't have to have belief. Belief is not the truth. It's belief.
Be the
It's
lie.
like opinion.
You're like, all right. Be the lie.
We
if you
care
want
a
to.
great deal about words because words rule us on purpose. We care a great deal about words here at Up the Sun. We use them often so that we can dismantle the programming. We can take apart when they trump us. So we encourage you to take this Lexigram class. It's so exciting. The people who've taken it before loved it. They love being able to do this for their friends and family. It's so wonderful that you can gain something, learn how to do it. Next thing you know, you can do it.
Just a little heads up for anyone who's interested in this class, want to know more about the details. Again, July 10th, 17th, and 24th, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern is held virtual. you too can learn this awesome method for yourself, your business, your friends, your family, governments, countries, etc. And yeah, that link's in the description. And again, she also provides the service. Someone did ask about the service. It's literally under the service tabs. You'll see Lexogram as well. And if you have any other questions, again, you can contact us here at contact@ofthesun.com, or you can message Lauren directly at Lauren, that's LAUREN, at ofthesun.com. So we have any final thoughts before the sun continues on through its trajectory?
Yes, I would like to share just briefly that also this is an introductory level class. So anyone may, at whatever growth you are or part on your path of your spiritual journey, you may take this and enter into this to gain greater clarity and knowingness of who you are, your purpose, expand yourself into intuitive gifts, start to grow into who you were designed and meant to be. And with that creates, or comes with, I should say, heightened desire to step more into that purpose and inspiration to share that not only with yourself, but with others. And this is such a brilliant modality. It has expanded me, changed me. We are just so able to read more into truth because of this. And I did pull a Call for the Truth divination card, what the consciousness of Lexogram wanted to share with us today. And the card is frequency. We have the power to shift from unwanted vibrations to the desired ones. And so how do we do that? By stepping into clarity, into knowingness, to gain the light of truth through the information that presents, that is already written within who we are. So now we have the ability to shift what needs to be shifted, to clear what needs to be cleared, to gain what there is to be gained. And with honor and respect to Laota and to Tavaris for learning this modality and being able to bring it forward, I have been blessed and gifted. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. And we thank everyone who's on the line today. And look forward to seeing you next week.
Lakesh Veritas, everyone. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next
Lakesh
time.
Veritas.
Oh, one last thing. Join us Saturday, live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. Get some more. We'll see you then. Lakesh.
Honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.